Okay. So what I was talking about was I wanted to change resolutions to revelations this year. Instead of designing resolutions for this year, I wanted to look at revelations. So I wanted to see what was going to be revealed to me this year. So instead of doing it monthly or yearly, I decided I was going to do it daily. And so I invite you to accompany me on that just today. Just sometimes we just need a pinprick of consciousness to change our beliefs. So just for a minute, see what you would like to be revealed for you today. It could be joy, it could be clarity. With Lee's treatment, anything that comes forth, call it forth for you today. And just examine it and see what you would like to be revealed. So from there, I began to discover and uncover this thing called soul contract. And I want to share with you today about soul contracts as well. So every January, it's always been a tradition for Centers for Spiritual Living and Science of Mind to go back to the origins, to go back and see where we were birthed. And it is the 4 chapters of the Introduction for the Science of Mind, the big book, we call it. So those 4 chapters of that textbook are, the first week in January is called The Thing Itself, which is the study of first cause, God, spirit, whatever you'd like to call it. The second week is how it works. And how it works is the way we tell it to. And that's the law. We put that into our treatments as they did. Third is what it does. What it does is it just keeps on giving. And that's the love part. And that's what Amy was talking about when she's saying, give me all the good I can take. Give me all the good I can take. That's the receivership. And how to use it is the 4th chapter, which is our consciously practice of the principles. And today the principle is going to be gratitude. So let's begin by starting about what we teach, how we teach science of mind. Scientists in our world study the physical laws, and they design theories and premises like Einstein did. We are science of mind. So science of mind is a scientific study of the mind, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. We study the laboratory of our own consciousness. We go into the lab internally. And we take our own unconscious and scientifically, we see how we're all connected. Now, another example is ecologists. They study the ecosystem of our world, and they see how they're scientifically connected, how we're connected. But what I'm looking at is the ecosystem of God. Let's see what the ecosystem of God looks like to you. So in Science of Mind, we're not here to tell you how to think. What we do is we just present tools for for what you can use. Sorry. But what happens is you get to do your own experiment and find out what works for you. There's an opportunity to connect to source and for you to reveal how it's working for you. So Ernest Holmes said, what the world needs is spiritual conviction, followed by spiritual experience. I would rather see a student of the science prove its principle than to have him or her repeat all the words of wisdom that have been uttered. It is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. I'm sure we all can relate to that. So with that in mind, let's take the route through Science of Mind, using the principle of love and the spiritual practice form a sacred contract. And by sacred contract, I'm not talking about the Carolyn Mace work, which is absolutely wonderful. I'm talking about something that you cherish, What is significant for you? That's your sacred contract. So in that sacred contract is gratitude and love. So with gratitude and using the spiritual practice of gratitude, being grateful improves life both internally and externally. And we'll look at how making gratitude part of your sacred contract expands your vision and expands everything that happens throughout this year. These times can sometimes lead us into some challenges. And what I've realized is being rooted in your sacred contract, in my own sacred contract, helps balance the times that I'm maybe a little off. And my sacred contract of self-love and gratitude keeps me grounded in that. And then we're going to look at love as a spiritual principle. And I talked a little bit around resolutions versus revelations. And I really, really, really love revelations and how it reveals to me. And I've been practicing this since the beginning of the year. So the definition in Science of Mind for gratitude is the practice of the principle of creation, seeing creation as life-affirming, looking for the good and focusing on that good. Gratitude is more than an emotion. It is an attitude which carries us beyond doubt, attracting and magnifying the good in our lives. Not only is it an attitude, it is also an emotion. So I want us to begin to experience gratitude in a different form this year, in the form of experiencing the mind and the heart of gratitude. So I always say to my students, I want you to feel it in your bones. So there was a study at UC Berkeley it's called the Greater Good Science Center. They did a study, a scientific study, using 3 groups of students. 2 groups were just told to do their practice work and their reading and all that. And then this other group, they had one set of these students. They wrote what they were grateful for once a week for 10 weeks. When they came back, they reported fewer physical symptoms, nausea, fewer headaches. They felt better about themselves compared to the other 2 groups. So that research really suggests gratitude inspires people to become more generous, more empathetic, and more kind to each other. So I have a slide by Wayne Dyer, if you could put that one up. Wayne says, be in a state of gratitude for everything that shows up in your life. Be thankful for the storms as well as the smooth sailing. What is the lesson or gift in what you're experiencing right now? Find your joy, not in what is missing in your life, but in how you can serve. And so that's part of the gratitude experience, experiencing what is it that is present in my life right here and right now. Martin Selman, who was the father of positive psychology, was speaking to an audience, and he said, if you take only one thing from this teaching of positive psychology, take the practice of gratitude. So in that way, Ernest Holmes talks about in his book, I have it right here, so The Bible in the Light of Science of Mind. And he says, religious science is a psychological, metaphysical, mental, spiritual, idealistic, and practical. That's what science of mind is. It is a science. So it combines all of that. So in that science and that laboratory that we're working on today, we also include love. So the definition for love in Science of Mind is, love is the self-givingness of the universal spirit through its desire to express itself in terms of creation. It is always creating. Love is the impulse, and law is the way of creation. There is love and there is law. And love is always seeking, our ever-expanding good. And so, being a student of Brené Brown, I wanted to show the slide, the second slide that I have with cultivating love. We cultivate love when we allow our most vulnerable and powerful selves to be deeply seen and known, and when we honor the spiritual connection that grows from that offering with trust, respect, kindness, and affection. Love is not something we give or get. It is something that we nurture and grow. A connection that can only be cultivated between two people when it exists within each one of them. We can only love others as much as we love ourselves. And that's the internal work of our laboratory of science of mind. We really take our beliefs and everything that we're experiencing, and we do our personal work internally. So I was listening, I don't know where I got it, but I was listening to this interview with Garth Brooks, and I have not listened to his music, but what he said was astounding to me. And he was talking about love. And in his interview, he said, I'm with love. Love, he said, I'm with love. Love's big enough for all of us. The hardest question on the planet is, why are we down here? Easiest answer, we're down here for each other. That's why there's more than one of us. I love the differences because that's the fun of it. And I was astounded by that. And I just respect what he was talking about with love. So with that in mind, with the gratitude part and the love part, this helps us become readiness strong. So now let's go into the laboratory of our consciousness and experiment with gratitude and love today. Ernest Holmes writes, we are creations of the infinite intelligence. Through all the years of our lives, we have piled on behaviors and beliefs that have kept us apart from living in alignment with our true nature. When we uncover that, we step into our personal power. It's amazing that he talked about the belief systems and how we have to uncover what's in the way of our glory that Amy was singing. So as you look at your life and the world right now, we can realize that there's a creation of a belief system that we have as individuals and as a society, we call it race consciousness, that creates the experience that we're living right now. We have these internal belief systems, and sometimes they're unbeknownst to us. I want to share a revelation that I had when I was a prac student with Reverend Michael. And we were talking about cause and effect. And studying everything in prac class and all the other classes that I took, there was a part of me that was like, I understand it. It was happening within me. And then there was a part of me that I didn't know. I just quite didn't get it. There was still some parts in my life that just didn't seem to be working for me. But I didn't know it was lurking in my unconscious mind. So I believed some of what Science of Mind was teaching, but I didn't believe all of it. And one Sunday, Reverend Michael was speaking. I don't remember what he was talking about, but I was listening. And then I heard in my mind, when he made a statement, it's always good. Life is good all the time. And what happened to me was I heard in my mind, yeah, right. I didn't realize what it came from, but what I did begin to see was that was my yes, but. And the but part was my no. And what I realized from that was every time I was doing some work around consciousness work, I would say that's true, and then there would be a yes, but. So from that, I got my aha moment. It was like, I realized it's exactly what we're talking about. The universe says yes. Exactly what Lee was talking about. The universe says yes. And what I realized in that was that the universe was saying yes to my no, because I still had that yes, but. So it was listening to my no, and it was saying yes to my no. And that was such a revelation to me, because I really saw what everyone was teaching and talking about, with the universe saying yes. It even says yes to the no. So what I'd like to do now is I want to go into the lab. I want us to experience our scientific study of God consciousness. So let's try some experiments. And this is my slide. I would love for you guys to do, if you can, the slide number 3, if you can put it up. These are our experiments for today. And if you're willing, you could try one of these. It is really a pinprick of consciousness. That's all you need, is a pinprick of consciousness to shift from resolutions to revelations. So let's start with doing a gratitude journal. Recognize 3 things that you're grateful for, and notice how you're supported by the universe that day. Just notice how it is supporting you, and lean into the feeling of being grateful. Now, I know a lot happens where, at least in my experience, like I write down, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, I'm grateful for this. And what I realized from doing this totally different through revelations, it was different, because I began to feel it. And I have a saying in my hallway that says, start your day with a grateful heart. So I began this year to really grab hold of my gratitude and feel it in my body. So I was grateful for the shower. I was grateful for hot water, and I felt it. I felt it. And then I'm in Minnesota right now, and it's -8 degrees. So I'm very grateful for my furnace and the heat that is produced. I'm grateful for that. I can feel it in my body. So just notice, take 3 things that you're grateful for and feel them while you're experiencing and writing down what you're grateful for. Or write an affirmation and repeat it 20 times a day. That seems like a lot, but if you really start the day with writing an affirmation, like, I am here for God, I move into life experiencing and expressing joy. And I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I forget to do it. So it became a habit that I wrote it on my hand. So I was able to look at it as the day went by. And daily, write a revelation that you would like to have revealed for today, for that day, whatever the day it is. I want joy to reveal itself to me today. I want abundance to reveal itself. I want whatever. Write that down and see what happens through the day, and see what happens by the end of the day, because this writing and this idea of gratitude helps expand and express this love that we have for ourselves. And once we develop this bigger heart of love, I do this because it's the sign language for opening our hearts. So my practice is with my hands. So by paying attention to these moments of awareness, love and gratitude really naturally arises in our consciousness. So paying attention, being grateful, using affirmations, and asking for revelations can really anchor a daily practice. It's like brushing our teeth or getting dressed or going out. It anchors us in whatever we're doing for the day. Ernest Holmes wrote, "A new light is coming." Amazing. This is an amazing saying of his. And think back when religious science was developed, and he knew ahead of time. So he wrote, "A new light is coming into the world. We're on the borderland of a new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin." And I believe that we are experiencing that in our times. The new light is definitely experiencing and showing itself, and the veil is very thin. So I'd like to end with a radical gratitude poem by Adrienne Marie Brown. And it's called a radical gratitude spell. And it's a spell to cast upon meeting a stranger or a friend working for change. And that's what we're all doing, working for change. And we have to experience it within ourselves and take it out into the world. And that's what Ernest Holmes said. When it was an institute for religious science, he said, "I want you to learn this work and take it back into your life. You are the laboratory of this work." So let's read the radical gratitude spell. You are a miracle walking. I greet you with wonder in a world which seeks to own your joy and your imagination. You have chose to be free every day as a practice. I can never know the struggles you went through to get here, but I know you have swum upstream, and at times it's been lonely. I want you to know I honor the choices you made in solitude, and I honor the work you have done to belong. I honor your commitment to that which is larger than yourself and your journey to love the particular container of life that is you. You are enough. Your work is enough. You are needed. Your work is sacred. You are here, and I am grateful. And so it is. I invite you to shine and be glorious today and every day, whatever your practice is and whatever your laboratory of life is. So thank you for welcoming me to your center. I bless you, and I know that today is going to be wonderful, as in all days. And so it is.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey! Oh yeah. Grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful. Every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. I'm so grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am. I am. So grateful, hey, grateful. I just come up.